More than 1 million cars on South Florida streets are riding around with open recalls. And many of us turn to taxis and ride-sharing services to get around. CBS 4 anchor Lauren Pastrana put them to the recall test and found the cars may not be as safe as you think.
If your car is under recall, chances are you'll get a notice in the mail. Or maybe you'll hear about it on the news.
With millions of cars in the U.S. being recalled.
But what about the recalls on cars that don't belong to you? You know, the Uber and Lyft vehicles or taxis we ride so often.
Your vehicle here has an open recall.
We ran the license plates of 264 local Uber and Lyft vehicles. 59 of them, or 22%, had open recalls. The Miami-Dade Transportation Department supplied us with the license plate and vehicle identification numbers for taxis registered in the county. We ran 771 VINs. Of those, 206 had open recalls. That's more than 26%. Some issues are minor, but others could be potentially fatal.
You know that you have an open recall for a Takata airbag in this van?
No.
Adrian St. Cyr drives a 2011 Toyota Sienna. More than 40 million vehicles have been recalled, including the 2011 Sienna, because of defective Takata airbag inflators that could deploy improperly in a crash. Toyota's website says a remedy for his model should be ready by this summer. St. Cyr says he didn't know his taxi was affected, but he plans to get it fixed. The same goes for this taxi driver.
Hi there. Hi, my name is Lauren with Channel 4.
His taxi also has an open Takata recall and a recall for a tire issue that could lead to an accident.
It may lead to tire overloading and possibly cause tire failure, including the risk of a crash. Did you know that about your car, that there was an open recall?
No, I just put new tire.
Of the hundreds of open recalls we reviewed, most were for problems that could cause a loss of steering or engine failure. While recall fixes are free and usually take only a day or so, drivers who rely on their cars to make a living say they can't afford to have their vehicles out of service. Orlando Gonzalez says he drives 13 to 14 hours a day for Uber. We found his car has an open recall for a problem with seatbelts and airbags. He says he wants to get it fixed, but can't risk losing income if his car is in the shop for too long. Uber says it takes an active role in alerting drivers to check the recall status of their vehicles and that drivers must have their vehicles inspected before signing up with the service. Lyft provided a statement which says in part, quote, drivers have a strong personal incentive to make sure their car is in safe operating condition. The Miami-Dade County Transportation Department says taxis are inspected annually and are taken out of service if the safety issue is discovered.
So what can you do as a passenger? For starters, you can run the license plate of any vehicle you're about to get in a free checker like this one on the Carfax app. Drivers can use it too.
It's really scary that there's so many vehicles on the road that are still under recall that haven't been fixed yet.
Consumer product attorney Jason Turchin, whose law firm has sued Takata in the past, says passengers do have some recourse in the event of an accident.
If a passenger gets hurt in a ride-sharing vehicle because of an open recall that should have been fixed, that driver should be responsible under Florida law to pay for all damages to that passenger. If they truly care about the passengers over profit, then they should get their vehicles fixed.
Lauren Pastrana, CBS 4 News Tonight.